So I'm just going to show you some early CMIP6, CMIP5 comparisons based on sort of the data I had available, just comparing the two for the global models and the EUCP regions. I've looked at the 1995 to 2014 and different 2041 to 2060. So these are the first results, which are for the summer. So we've got the CMIP6 is in the light blue, and the sort of dark purple is the CMIP5. At the moment, I've got 22 CMIP6 models in the ensemble for temperature, surface temperature change. So yeah, the main. I can't see my own slide there very well. Here we go. So yeah, the main changes that we're seeing here is we do see an increase in the projected temperature change for CMIP6 slightly here in the central and Mediterranean regions. So one of the questions that we asked when we saw these results was how much of this change that we're seeing here and here is to do with the global change or the global differences in the CMIP6 models, or is there something different that's going on in the Mediterranean and Central Europe in CMIP6? So to answer that, I've got on the right here, I looked at the relative change in temperature per degree of global change. So this, just to explain, this is the I've just for reference, this is the absolute global change in temperature between the CMIP6 and CMIP5 models. And here on the right, these then these plots here, these four are the relative change. As you can see, when you look at the relative change per degree of global change, we don't actually get that much change in the mean temperature projection. There are some changes. There are like some small sort of changes here, maybe in the Central European region, but I'm not sure if they're particularly significant. So that's the overlying sort of response for the summer. For completeness, I had a look at the temperature for winter. I'm not going to dwell on this slide because we don't have that much time, but basically the answer is no, really, here. I think there is no real difference in the projections, no real changes really in the projected temperature for winter. And again, the relative change, most of the change that we're seeing does seem to be in the global. Could be a bit here for the, again, the Central European area, possibly. We're seeing some differences. So moving on to the summer precipitation, these are the percentage changes here on the left, comparisons. I've got a slightly smaller ensemble for the precipitation because of the available data. As you can see, the main result here really is we've got a really quite a big decrease in the range of projections for CMIP6 for North Europe, which is a little bit surprising. There is a change here in the percentage change for the Mediterranean and CMIP6, but I'm not sure again how significant this is. I'll show you why I looked at the total, the absolute changes in precipitation in a minute. But because we've got such a dry area here, this may not be as significant as it looks. And yeah, again, in the relative change, when I look at, so I looked at the percentage change in precipitation per degree of global warming. And again, we're not really seeing a particularly different picture there. Again, we've just got this very reduced range in projections for the summer in the Northern European area. This is the precipitation changes for the winter, and again, we're not seeing a huge difference really between the CMIP6 and CMIP5, I would say there. So I think the short answer for is there a big difference between CMIP6 and CMIP5 for our European projections in winter precipitation, I would say it's no. And so because of that big change, a percentage change you saw in the Mediterranean, I did also have a quick look at the change in millimetres per day, so the absolute change in precipitation. And you can see here for the Mediterranean, the difference seems to have pretty much disappeared. So I'm not quite sure why that is, whether or not we've got baseline differences between the two that need to be looked at, but the absolute differences in precipitation change and the projections isn't that great for the Mediterranean. Again, we've just got this reduced range here in the Northern European region. Sorry, and that's for the winter, but I might skip over that in the interest of time. So I suppose, like, looking at these results, the questions sort of that come to mind for sort of the questions that come to mind for consideration are: do we see these? Is the increase in global warming, so the increase in surface temperature that we see in Central Europe and Mediterranean, is that due to the CMIP6 ensemble just projecting higher global warming, or is it something that's a particularly CMIP ensemble that's affected these regions? It doesn't look like most of the changes in the global, maybe some differences in Central Europe, in the Central European region. And the main difference also in precipitation seems to be the reduction in the projected range for Northern Europe in the summer. Otherwise, there's not a lot of difference between the two ensembles. Some questions that I have sort of coming out of this, and I expect a lot of people are asking, are how do you approach these new CMIP6 results? Do we look at them as a separate projections, or part of the CMIP5 ensemble? Do we look at them together? Question I'm always sort of thinking is, how much do we trust them? Do we trust them more or less than the CMIP5? So should we consider them and approach them differently?